Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last session we have completed the discussion about color of the lanthanide series. Yes, we said there why they are going to exhibit color means yes, there is a necessary condition to show color for F block elements. What is that? We said it is because of FF transition. Yes, when FF transition takes place, when there is at least one unpaired electron, and if that electron involves in what? Movement from lower F orbital, lower energy of orbital to higher energy of orbital. Then because of that FF transition, the most of the F block elements and their compounds exhibit a color. Right? Now, in this session, we are going to understand the one more most important concept of F block elements is the lanthanide contraction. Okay, now in consider F block elements, one of the most important concept is lanthanide contraction. Yes, we try to understand what is it. What is the lanthanide contraction? Yes, if you consider periodic table, as I already mentioned it, so if you consider size, variation of atomic and ionic radii, that is periodic property. So in general, what we say? In general, atomic and ionic radii decreases along a period, that is from left to right. From left to right, along a period, atomic size goes on decreases. Well, if I consider F block elements, where they belong? They belong to third group. And what about periods? 6th and 7th period. Lanthanides belongs to lanthanides belongs to 6th period and actinides belongs to 7th period. Two series. Yes, if we consider these lanthanides and actinides, or particularly say lanthanides, say lanthanum. Well, lanthanum, atomic number 57, lanthanum, cerium, lanthanum, cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium, promethium, samarium, europium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, and lutetium, Lu. Last one. So if you consider the diagrammatically what we can analyze here? Size. Say earlier size is larger one. Its actual atomic radius is how much? It is 187 picometer. And if you go for cerium, it is 183 picometer. If you consider praseodymium, 182 picometer, neodymium, 181 picometer. As like if you move from left to right, that is from lanthanum to lutetium. So lanthanum to lutetium, atomic size as well as ionic size goes on decreases. Is there any irregularity? No, there is a gradually regular decrease in the atomic as well as ionic radii. Okay, yes. If you consider graphical representation of decrease in ionic radii of lanthanide ions, say atomic number, ionic radius versus atomic number. Ionic radii is expressed in terms of picometer, then atomic number, say 57, 59. So 57 to 71, atomic number increases, ionic radii increases in terms of picometer. Yes, try to analyze here. Say if you consider lanthanum 3 plus, cerium 3 plus, praseodymium 3 plus, neodymium plus 3 oxidation state, neodymium 3 plus, promethium 3 plus, samarium 3 plus, europium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, and lutetium. So if I consider their ionic radii, that is in plus 3 oxidation state, ionic radii, say when you look at the graph, what we can analyze here? Yes, there is a gradual decrease, or I can say regular decrease. There is a regular decrease in the ionic radii. Yes, this phenomenon, or I can say the phenomenon, regular decrease, or I can say the steady decrease. So the phenomenon of steady decrease, the phenomenon of steady decrease in the atomic and ionic radii of lanthanide elements. With what? With increase in the atomic numbers. So as atomic number increases, there is a steady decrease in the atomic as well as ionic radii. This phenomenon of steady decrease in the atomic and ionic radii of lanthanides with increase in atomic number is called lanthanide contraction. So what is lanthanide contraction? It is a steady decrease in the, it is a phenomenon of steady decrease in the atomic and ionic radii of lanthanide elements with what? With increase in the atomic number is called lanthanide contraction. So this definition is also important. Well, now we consider what is the cause. What is the cause for this lanthanide contraction? Yes, if we consider the factors which affect the lanthanide contraction, or against the cause for lanthanide contraction is there are two factors. One is the effective nuclear charge. Another one is shielding effect, or I can say screening effect. So what is the cause for lanthanide contraction means it is because of effective nuclear charge and shielding effect, or I can say screening effect of F orbital electrons. Yes, first one, if we consider effective nuclear charge. So yes, we know if I consider an atom, yes, there will be nucleus present. In the nucleus, what are present? There will be protons. Nucleus contains protons. Protons means they are positively charged particles. So nucleus is going to carry positive charge. Then nucleus is going to carry positive charge. Now what about electrons? Electrons will get distributed around in a different orbits, or I can say energy levels. Yes, there is a attraction. There is an attraction between what? Nucleus and electrons. We know this concept. There is an attraction between nucleus and electrons of all orbitals, inner orbitals as well as outermost orbit, that is valence shell. Now if we consider F block elements, yes, in case of a block element also there exists a attraction, right? Attraction between what? Attraction between nucleus and electrons in the valence orbit, that is outermost shell. Nucleus is going to attract all electrons, that is innermost electrons as well as outermost electron, that is valence shell. So there is an attraction exists between, that is the attraction force between nucleus and electrons in valence orbit is called effective nuclear charge, is referred as a effective nuclear charge. Now in lanthanide series, okay, if we consider lanthanide series, so what about atomic numbers? From lanthanum to lutetium, what happens? Atomic number increases. Okay, if atomic number increases, is directly proportional to what? Is directly proportional to number of protons. Are you agreeing? Say atomic number increases in the sense the number of protons increases, so both are directly related. Now number of protons in turn going to change what? They are going to change the nuclear charge. Are you agree? As atomic number increases, number of protons increases, in turn there will be increase in the effective nuclear charge. There will be increase in the effective nuclear charge. If effective nuclear charge increases, then what about size? Size decreases. Means that attraction between nucleus and outermost electron or orbital increases, therefore size decreases. Therefore we can say here three quantities. What are those? Atomic number is directly proportional to number of protons in turn directly proportional to effective nuclear charge. If effective nuclear charge is more, the size decreases. Therefore what we said here, so in the lanthanide series atomic number increases, hence number of protons increases, and force of attraction per electron, that is nuclear charge, increases, hence which causes the contraction of a atomic size. Due to increase in the effective nuclear charge, the size goes on decreases. There is a steady decrease in the size. Okay, yes. So if you consider diagrammatically, say lanthanum, okay, nuclear charge is less, so size is more. If you consider the successive elements, cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium up to lutetium, that effective nuclear charge goes on increases, hence the size goes on decreases. Okay, well. Now coming to the shielding effect. Yes, what is shielding effect? is what is shielding effect means is the phenomenon. Shielding effect is a phenomenon, the phenomenon in which the attraction, okay, attraction between nucleus and outermost electrons. Outermost electron means the electron which is present in valence shell. Okay, the phenomenon in which the attraction between nucleus and outermost electrons, that is valence shell, the electrons present in the valence shell are influenced by, or I can say governed by inner electrons, means the electrons present in the inner orbitals. That phenomenon is called shielding effect. Well, it can be understood better. So consider is the nucleus, the electrons present in the valence shell, that is valence orbital. Now say it is the innermost electrons. If the electron present in, okay, the electron present in s orbitals of a valence shell, then what happens? They are going to show very strong shielding effect. So if the electrons present in the s orbitals of a valence shell, then they are going to show very strong shielding effect. Well, similarly, means the attraction between nucleus and valence shell electrons are governed by the inner electron. The attraction will be less in such case. Okay. So next one, if we consider p orbitals, if the electron present in the p orbitals of a valence shell, now those electrons are going to show less shielding effect than what? Than s subshell. So in this case what happens? There is a attraction increases between nucleus and outermost electrons. Means in the first case, if an electron present in s orbitals, they are going to show very strong shielding effect. Therefore, attraction between nucleus and valence shell electron, please understand it properly, the attraction between nucleus and valence shell electron is very less. Attraction is very less. Yavaga, if the shielding effect is more. Coming to the p, if the electron present in p subshell, so what happens? Those p electrons are going to have less shielding effect, less than p subshell. Therefore, what happens? Attraction increases. Attraction between nucleus and that valence shell electron increases. Means it will be more. Attraction will be more compared to s sub in the first case. Further, if the electron present in d subshell, means the electrons of a d orbital are going to have very weak shielding effect. They are going to show very weak shielding effect. Weak in the sense, again what happens? The attraction between nucleus and the valence shell electron further increases. In which case, if the electron present in d orbitals of a valence shell, they have a very poor shielding effect. Therefore, attraction increases further. Now, what is the last one? We said f orbitals. If the electron present in f orbitals, these f orbitals have very poor shielding effect. They have very poor shielding effect, which means attraction is very large. Shielding effect is very less, therefore attraction is very high. If attraction is very high, what about size? Size is less, size decreases, which means if I consider shielding effect, the f orbitals, the electrons of a f orbitals are going to have very poor shielding effect. Therefore, nuclear charge is more, or else I can say the attraction is very more, hence size decreases. So the two factors, one is effective nuclear charge and second one is the shielding effect. These are the two factors, these are the cause for lanthanoid contraction. We got it? Yes. Then, so if you consider order of shielding effect, s orbital electrons are going to have very high shielding effect, then P, then D, then F. Okay. Well, coming to the MCQs, first one, what are the cause of lanthanide contraction? So what is the cause for lanthanide contraction? First, A, effective nuclear charge, B, shielding effect, then C, both A and B, D, none of the above. So what is the cause? It is the effective nuclear charge and shielding effect. So option C is correct. Okay. Yes. Next one. What is the effective nuclear charge? What is the effective nuclear charge? So option A, total charge on the nucleus. Is it the effective nuclear charge? Yes, we consider no. Then second, the attraction force between nucleus and electrons, valence orbital electrons. Z star is equal to Z minus sigma. Then C, effective number of protons in the nucleus. Then D, net charge on a metal ion. So it's what is the answer? It is B, the attraction force between nucleus and electrons of a valence orbit. So Z star is equal to Z minus sigma. What is sigma here? Shielding constant. So remember this. Well, the next one. Which of the following subshell has the strongest shielding effect? Which of the following subshell? We have 4, right? S, P, D and F subshell. Which one is going to have strongest shielding? Strongest shielding means, yes, we said yes. Options S, P, D and F. So order of shielding effect, we said S is going to have very high shielding effect, then P, then D, then F. Strongest means S. Okay, weakest means F orbital electrons. So what is the answer here? A. The next one, size of lanthanide metal ion goes on. If we consider ionic radii, they are asking based on that concept. The size of the lanthanide metal ion goes on. Goes on means from left to right, what happens? Say option A, increases, option B, decreases, can't be predicted, none of these. Yes, what is the answer? Yes, we know that there is a steady decrease in the both atomic as well as ionic radii. So answer, decreases. Okay. Well, next one, the phenomenon of steady decrease in the atomic and ionic radii among lanthanides is called A, lanthanide contraction, B, actinide contraction, C, both A and B, and D, none of these. Yes, what is the answer here? The steady decrease in the atomic and ionic radii of lanthanides is called lanthanide contraction. So option A is correct. Okay. Well, so with this I am going to conclude about this session. Again in the next session we go for other concept. Okay. Thank you. Be safe.